Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Genesis Mindset. My name is Stephen, and I have a very interesting episode for you today. Actually, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who watched my previous video on Atropa. It was a massive deep dive. It was about 20 to 30 hours of research and analysis that went into that video. And at the end of it, I thought, oh, wow, I'm getting really close. But then I also realized, wow, there's actually so much more to learn. This is really, really fascinating. So I've spent the next few days continuing to dive deep into it to try and work it out even more. And I still feel like I'm only scratching the surface. But in today's episode, I really want to bring you a lot of value. I want to show you how and why, what I'm actually investing into, so we can actually get into some actionable items at the end of the episode. So that'll be coming up. So once again, this is a very deep and rich episode. You're probably going to need to watch it a few times to really get a full understanding of everything. But in the meantime, this should hopefully give you enough. Actually, one second. This will hopefully give you enough information where you can actually take something away from it even today. So just like the previous episode, I'm hoping to aim for about 15 to 20 minutes, but there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to be 15 to 20 minutes by the time I unload everything. But in any case, the Genesis mindset for investing, trading, and life. So really what I'm all about is the mind. So one thing that I saw Corey Costa say the other day about people, influencers in cryptocurrencies, everybody's out for themselves. And you have to really give value to the people. And that really made a lot of sense. But I want to really emphasize everything that I do, my self-centered perspective here is actually to help you. So whereas maybe another influencer, and I'm not bagging at influencers here, I'm just telling it how I see it. I'm just being objective here, where their ultimate objective is, okay, eventually I want to make money off my followers. I want to basically get them to help shill my products, or I want to dump on them, or whatever it is. My ulterior motive here is to help you with your mind. I've been upfront with that from the very start. That is my number one ulterior motive. I have no other ulterior motive besides that. I love Pulsechain. I love cryptocurrency. I love learning about all of this, but all of this is secondary to the fact that I am, as my job, a meditation guide. So I guide and run and manage a meditation center. So I really want to help people with the mind. I see people, even in some of these Atropa spaces that I've been in, talking about having ADD, not being able to sleep, having nightmares. All of these things can be solved with meditation. And I really want to emphasize this again and again and again until it actually hits home, because that is the main point of what I'm doing here. The number one point is to help you with your mind so you can actually live as your true self, not trapped inside of your mind, which is the false self. So please be aware, obviously, on that everything that I say is just my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So this is just educational. This is literally just my perspective. So take it, please, with a grain of salt. Okay, so in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about, again, why Pulsechain will pump rather. And really, thank you to Atropa. So the more that I'm learning about this, the more that it is absolutely blowing my mind that this will be a vehicle that's actually going to contribute to pumping Pulsechain. So three exclamation marks, three exclamation marks. It's always got to be three. So what we'll cover today. So just to give you a quick outline. So first, I'm going to actually cover what is Atropa. Then the 414 wallet, which is the Atropa Genesis wallet. Why Atropa is massively bullish for Pulsechain. So again, I did cover this in my previous video. So if you go back and you check this out, so I'll actually put a little card at the top that you can actually look at here. So check that out if you haven't seen it already. And then the important part, which is what a lot of people really ask, or what they want is, okay, how do I buy? What do I buy? But what I'm actually giving you first is the why, because I do think this is kind of like our first motive is like, okay, quick, easy money. So what do I buy? How do I buy it? But really, always in the back of your mind, you still want a why. And if you don't have a why, you really need one as well, because you need that conviction to hold through the storm. And then I'm actually going to, for a little bit of fun, so I'm actually just going to try this for the first time today. So I was in a Twitter Spaces today by Coach X. It was a really awesome, or X Spaces. And there was some amazing alpha being shared by Sonny the detective, who's been setting up LPs and basically sharing how this process was going and really just unloading all his information on Atropa. So all of this is coming from people like Sonny, people like the Verse, who I've been listening to and watching, and other people that I've been following, and just really trying to do my own analysis on Atropa. So this is also going to be showing you how to set up the LPs. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I want to give a bit of context here as well, actually, because it's very important that I emphasize that for me, oh, actually, I'm going to have to stop the share and reshare so I can get the sound. It's really important for me to emphasize that my main objective is Pulsechain. So one of the posts that I did the other day was I said, do you think Ethereum hit its all-time high because it was a genius smart contract? Partly, sure, but it's what was created within it that really made it grow. It actually all flows back into Ethereum. So when all these VCs do these pump and dumps, where do they put their money? They put it back into Ethereum. And then there's a new contract that comes along, a new project. That Ethereum goes into the new project. It pumps, then that goes back into the Ethereum. And this is what is pumping the price upwards. So Pulsechain therefore needs the same thing. So would Pulsechain be any different? The chain actually, people is, again, they're saying it's dead. The fear is there, but it's not. It's full of life. Atropa is the most fascinating thing happening in Pulsechain at the moment. So I want to also just play this little clip by the Verse. So I got this little clip from his YouTube the other day. So if you want to learn more about Atropa, I strongly recommend going to the Verse and subscribing to that channel. So I'm just going to play a bit of this video here just to give a little bit of context to start to wrap your mind around what's actually going on here.
Which is jumping into PDAI. PDAI is going to be the safest one. It's not going to be the one to screw you over. PDAI and then Atropa. If Atropa fails, PDAI fails. If PDAI fails, Atropa fails. And then if you want to go a little further out and branch out a little bit and be a little bit more of a degen, well, you can always take a look over here at TSFI, or maybe go for down. The contract has been renounced. And then the other one, yeah, so I think it was TSFI down and then Atropa. So from what I've been talking with people in the community, these are the main ones people have been getting into. And then if you want to be a degen like B-Rooch, you can go for the teddy bear meme and
love the degen plays.
So overall, my assessment is, be careful. I do like to get into some of these tokens, but I go under the expectation that I'm going to lose it all. This is like gambling. This is like me going to Las Vegas, going to a slot machine, putting in $100 and saying, all right, I'm going to pull this 100 times and then just let it go out. When you get into TSFI, Atropa, PDAI, that's like playing poker or blackjack. You have a hand, and you can sit there and make plays, and you're a little bit more in control because the contracts for those tokens have been renounced, and there's less of a chance that you will get screwed over in the end. So really, really.
Okay, so let's actually keep that in mind also towards the end of the episode when you start to think about what you actually want to start putting money in. So I have a strategy for myself based on this kind of information, which I've developed, my plan, which I've developed prior to this bull market, which I'll be implementing with the Atropa ecosystem. So now back to the presentation. Okay, so let's get into it. So first of all, what is Atropa? So it's basically just an AI bot. It's a complicated algorithmic bot that really just works on its own. It doesn't actually need anyone. It's just a bot that arbitrages within itself. So it just continues, it hyperinflates, it just continues to inflate. And what it's actually doing is it's an inflationary token with no value. So it creates these different pairs with liquidity pools. So it sets up these different pools, and in these different pools, it will do minting and burning and buying and selling and arbitraging and all these different things, which are basically working towards feeding back into Atropa, which is pumping Atropa upwards. So this is actually what's happening. So Atropa can do that on its own. And one of the really interesting things about this is basically, well, each of the different liquidity pools all operate differently. So basically, there are all these kind of parts to the whole which contribute to the whole, but no one really knows how these different parts work. So when you saw that little clip before with that little bubble diagram showing all these relationships, no one really knows yet. People are still in the process of analyzing. People have even set up their own AI bots to try and understand what it's actually going to be doing next. So people are trying to define whether it's minted yet or whether it's not minted. So the ones that, for example, if it creates a liquidity pool and it's not minting, then this is a good sign. If it's minting, then it means the value of that token is going to keep dropping. So if you go and buy that, then you bought, well, what some would consider a dud because it's just going to keep dropping. So therefore it's inflating. So basically, the bot is instigating, but the bot's not doing all of this. So it's the market which is also contributing to it. So the market is the bot is kind of like this God force. So another thing that I want to add to as well, one of the really interesting things about Atropa, which I believe gives it some trust, is it was actually being tested on the testnet. So when testnet was out, this was being tested. So even now, with all these different pools, I don't know if it's still in the experiment stage where it's experimenting with these different things, or if it was basically already worked out within the testnet. So that's why it's it's a very fascinating concept. So now to this point of it being like a God force on Pulsechain. So really, it's just a formula. So this AI algorithm is just a formula in a field of energy, and we can call that field of energy Pulsechain. And so this formula, this God force, injects life into the field of Pulsechain with these zero value tokens. So the Atropa has zero value. It injects life, it prints all these tokens and creates these pools. So then as it connects with other pairs, the market is actually what brings value to the ecosystem by trading the assets that it's paired against. So this is what Hart's law is. So I've got this adorable little plant here. I don't know if you can see this very well. So as a matter of fact, I'm just going to stop the share. So throughout my meditation center, I actually went around and bought all these little glass things from op shops and put little plants in them. Now, this leaf here was the only leaf. So I put all these plants in water. So you can see here, I don't know how clearly you can see the roots. You might not be able to see the roots very clearly because of the light there. But in any case, you'll see as it grows, all these new roots start to form. Now, the water has no nutrients in it. So there was no new leaf. So then I realized, okay, the water is actually not giving these plants any growth. They actually need nutrients. So then I started to collect my eggshells. I'd crush the eggshells up. I'd boil the eggshells. And then the calcium that's in the water, I'd then feed that into the water. And now they've started to explode. So this one now is got a cute little leaf right there. So this is happening all throughout the meditation center now. They're all growing. The reason why I wanted to show this is because it's exactly what is happening with the Atropa ecosystem. Without the market is the life. The market is the nutrients that are feeding into the ecosystem. Without the market, nothing happens. Nothing is going to happen. The Atropa is going to go up. But who cares if no one's buying it? Then no one can actually sell it because it's just this super high inflated token that nothing can actually, it has no value. So I wanted to really emphasize that point. And that's why I use that little cute little plant there. So back to the presentation here. Okay, so one of the awesome things about this is what has me the most excited about this is what does a system like this actually mean for the world? So if you look at something like Forex, Forex is the US dollar paired with the Australian dollar and the euro and the Singapore dollar and all the currencies around the world. And they're all fluctuating, trying to maintain some kind of equilibrium. But there's one force that dominates it all, and that's the US dollar. Okay, so the US dollar dominates the world. And this is actually what's happening with cryptocurrency right now because people know, or the US knows, hey, if we don't get a control of this cryptocurrency, it's going to destabilize our power in the world financial system. They know this. They laughed at it, but now they know. Now they know. Now they're getting into it. BlackRock is getting into it, as everybody knows with Bitcoin. Now, what does this actually mean? If a system like this can actually bring life into Pulsechain with just algorithms and liquidity pairs and buying and selling and minting and burning and using the principle of Hart's law, then this is phenomenal. This is actually phenomenal because this is something, in my opinion, which is it's actually more profound than just this token, which is going to pump things in the ecosystem. It's much more profound than that, in my opinion. This could be a step towards what the world of money is going to look like in the future, a world of everybody having equal share, everybody having a universal basic income. So, I mean, look, I don't think cryptocurrency is, I mean, you got the Bitcoin maxis who think Bitcoin's going to be the world reserve currency. Guys, sorry to break it to you, but they're not going to hand all their power over to Max Kaiser and Roger Ver. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be something like what Bitcoin is. It's going to be something like what cryptocurrency is, but it's not going to be the tokens we hold. So forget about that kind of a narrative. So I just wanted to cover that point because really that's something that I'm extremely passionate about. You know, you look at places like Africa, they're always going to struggle because everything that they need is always compared against the US dollar. I connect with, as meditation center, I connect with meditation centers in Africa, and I help them and I teach them and I teach them how to write blogs. They have internet, they have power outages every single day where the government turns the power off. I mean, we don't get that in Australia. And that blew me away. It was a real, like, holy crap, like, this is how poor some of these nations are. And it's all because everything is being strangled by the US dollar. It's not to blame the US, it's not to blame the US dollar. That's just how things were. But that's an imperfect system that no longer works. It's reached its limit. So I think something like this is very exciting for the future of the world. Okay, so the Atropa, back to Atropa, the 4014 wallet. So the Atropa Genesis wallet. So um, from now on, I'm calling the 401 a duck named Bill. So this is a play on Somi's words because I love Somi. He's everybody's friend. He's my good friend. And he says a duck named Greg. And I said, well, if there was a duck named Greg and he had a best friend named Bill, then we can call this 414 wallet Bill. So this is the original Atropa contract. So this 414 is it actually seems like it's experimenting with all these random pools to see what the outcome might be, how it might behave, or maybe it figured it all out in the testnet. No one truly knows. But the LPs that are being created by the 414 are normally 3 months old. So when Pulsechain first launched, so it was already taking the action then. So that tells me that it already had some things figured out through the testnet. And so new tokens that are being paired with are being paired all the time. But I personally like to stick with the 4141, the 414 contract. So for example, I will now go to my deck screener. So I'm going to be switching between screens here. So here is my, actually, I wanted to show this before in relationship to Hart's Law. I'll be showing this in a minute, actually. So here is all the 414 contracts that I've started to just add. There's a lot more, but this was just the analysis from the video I did the other day. And so all of these different pairs are created by the 414. And I just want to keep my eyes on these different pairs. So also people were pointing out to me that I needed to change to logarithmic. So if anyone wants to know how to do this on multi-charts, you just hover down here and it's got the L. You press the L and the A auto fits it. So that was a good little hack. Also, while we're here, I never knew how to draw on them. And it's this little bloody button here that you can't see. So if I want to actually draw on here now, while I'm actually doing a stream, then bang, I can just use that. So that's another little thing that I figured out, and I'll show a little bit more later. So back to the presentation. Okay, I'll try and slow down because I do have a tendency to speak very fast when I'm excited. That's just my energy. So the other thing that I really love about Atropa, so some people like it's a scam, and it could well be. It could be this hugely elaborate scam that's doing all of these different things and setting up all these different liquidity pools just to be a scam. Personally, I don't think that it is. I actually trust the 414. I trust what's happening, but that's just me. And the reason why is because this is all just happening in the background. It's not visible like a scam. So when you have a new scam project, you have a Telegram group, you have an Instagram account, you have a Twitter account, you have this flashy website. There's none of that with the Tropa. It's all just happened in the background and it's all just emerged through the eyes of the market. So I think that there's something really in that. So let's continue. So now why I believe Atropa is bullish for Pulsechain. So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this video here. So I'm going to, from the big dog himself, let's listen to what Hart's Law actually is from the big dog himself. Oh, proof of twerk. What a
liquid thing is. So basically Hart's Law is that the prices of assets move together because they're bonded by the liquidity in their trading pairs. And that's why all the prices move together. So when everything is traded, so like if a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum are sitting in a trading pair together and Bitcoin goes up, then Ethereum goes up because they're interchangeable. And if Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum goes down because they're interchangeable. And if Bitcoin's a more liquid market, it's easier for the dog to wag its tail than it is for the tail to wag the dog because of mass. And therefore, when Bitcoin goes up, most of crypto goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, most of crypto goes down because so many things have direct trading pairs with Bitcoin.
Okay, so what does that mean for Atropa and Pulsechain? If Atropa is going to keep going up and it has big pulls with Pulsechain, does that mean they're going to get pulled up together? This is a really fascinating thing. This is what we're going to see in motion, whether or not it actually unfolds. So this is one of the things that I actually started to test the other day as well, just to start to analyze. So for example, I've got Doge and Atropa with the Doge and Pulsechain pairs, and then just having a look at how these different things interact. So I had Fine and Atropa here. So as this is going down, as Fine is going down against Atropa, Fine is actually going up against Pulsechain. Fascinating. On same thing here with Teddy Bear. In actuality, I made a mistake here. So I said, oh, it was going down, but slightly going up. But in actuality, once you go into logarithmic, it shows it correctly. So this is going up, Teddy Bear to Atropa, while Teddy Bear to Pulsechain is going up. Oh, yes, finally. A red candle. Oh, beautiful. So, yeah, Teddy Bear. Finally, a bloody red candle. So I always go on the date. Let's have a look here. No, still no red candle. So at least because I'll be entering with my Pulsechain. So I'm waiting for a dip on Teddy Bear. I do not buy on tops. I've made that mistake far too many times to continue to do it. Okay, so let's go back to. So that was Hart's law. And so what else? So really the whole point of the Atropa ecosystem is it's expanding the network outside of Pulsechain. So once again, Ethereum didn't grow on its own for no reason. It's the life that was put into it that made it grow. So it's all these other different contracts which are bringing in all this other money and getting people excited. ICOs, Aave, decentralized finance, Uniswap. So this is actually all about creating value in copied ERC20. So the PRC20s that are on Pulsechain to entice those users into this phenomenal network, this phenomenal blockchain. So this is about the network effect. So think about this. It's about the new narratives. Our free internet money is better than your free internet money. This is something that Richard Hart said. So imagine if something like wrapped Bitcoin gets parity on Pulsechain. Imagine if it exceeds the price of Bitcoin. Imagine if the Pulsechain wrapped Bitcoin exceeds the price of Bitcoin on the other chains. What a narrative. This is also something that Richard Hart tweeted out when Pulsechain first launched. Wrapped Bitcoin boomed. And it must have got a huge amount of, it probably did get a huge amount of engagement. It went up to like $2,000 or something from 0 to 2,000. And come on, guys, like imagine how bullish that is. So that's why having things like this reach parity, having PDAI, a stable coin, actually emerge through this ecosystem of Atropa, that's also extremely bullish. But then imagine other people, oh, wrap Bitcoin, reach parity. What about my Pepe? What about my Doge? What about my Zen? What about my Mana? What about my Sandbox? What about my XRP? And then it's going to bring people over to the Pulsechain ecosystem. They're going to see how amazingly good PulseX is. And I mean, come on, the more you use PulseX, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's so fast. I mean, yes, everything is quiet, but it's so fast, so cheap. But not only that, just the extra layers of usability, the simplicity of it, but just these little extra tweaks are absolutely brilliant. Okay, so now that's to me what makes this so exciting. It's actually what it's doing to Pulsechain. So yes, this is a degen play, and I'm interested in getting into Atropa, but I'm interested in the wider spectrum of this. I'm a big thinker. I'm a systems totality thinker. I think of the whole. Okay, what can this do for Pulsechain? What can this do for the world? Those are the things that I'm actually thinking about. So yes, Atropa is exciting, but I'm not going to sit here and go, I'm going to dump all my Pulsechain into Atropa. I'm leaving my Pulsechain. I'm putting new money into Atropa, and I'm really excited about where it can actually go. So let's see what we have here. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So yesterday, many projects and or whales from across Pulsechain, many or whales from across Pulsechain added LP to Atropa. So today, PDAI ratchets up. So this is what I'm talking about. So as more whales, more eyes get into it, more liquidity enters into it, it's starting to ratchet up. So all signs are pointing to Atropa ecosystem LP as being some form of collateral. So the more LP equals the higher PDAI price. So pick from Atropa launch, TG, degen responsibility. So 359 pairs to Atropa. So I just wanted to show the actual tweet itself. So I'm actually going to like that tweet. Good on you. I follow this guy as well. So, support the community, follow each other, start establishing and continuing that network effect. Okay. So now, my little meditating Peppy, because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm also a degen. We're all here to make money, right? That's what we're here for. We love to make money. I have this higher consciousness that wants good for the world, but I'm still a degen. I'm just like the rest of you. That's what we get so attracted to these videos by. And he's got red eyes. Could be Shane Schuler meditating here, my boy Shane Schuler. So why? So now the what, the why, what, how about what I'm actually buying. And again, here we go. So what I'm buying, and this is again not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. You do your thing. I'm just sharing with you what I do based on my own strategies, my own mindset. So this sector is actually moving. I don't want to be a slept king no more. No more slept king. So, but my boys, there's some of my really good friends that I onboarded into Pulsechain. I was talking about Hex a long time ago and finally onboarded them into Hex. Actually, I don't even think they got onboarded into Hex at the end of the bull market, but then they saw what my portfolio was like. Results speak, guys. You hear a lot of people like this who feel guilt that they got friends in right at the end of the market. You were probably telling them ages ago, like I was, and they finally got in at the top. It's like, and then they get pissed off at you. Oh, that's how it is. That's how people are with money. But we have started, I got them into Pulsechain. So we're all in Pulsechain together, and we've got the Fib Fund, the Fibonacci Fund. So me and my boys have got the Fib Fund together, and we start dabbling in little coins. We don't, we leave our Pulsechain and our Hex, and we dabble in these little coins. And we bought Atropa with that Fib Fund where we've pulled our money together, and we're up 20x. It's like, wow, things are moving. Why would I be sleeping on this? So I'm also going to be doing this with my own personal money and my own portfolio, but I'll be sticking with my 60-30 strategy. So my rules of 2/3 and 1/3. So what I'm going to be doing is 60% of what I intend to put into this will be into those stables. So those stables are going to be PDAI, Atropa, and things like Teddy Bear, things which have the narrative behind it, things which have the community trust behind it, things which are created by the 414 and which have been validated as being non-minting. So you can find these things out by actually joining the Atropa telegrams. And I'll be putting the majority of my money in those. And then 30%, a third, I will be putting into just degenning. Here, actually, this should be 66-33 strategy. So yeah, well, 66.6 and 33.3, but you get it. So 2/3, 1/3. So then 1/3 is going to be into just dipping into little degen plays. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to show you in a second about what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be doing it. And so, yes, so for now, I'm actually just sticking with the 414 pairs, but not degenning in as different pools do different things. So I want to kind of be careful, but at the same time, it's just like $20 here, $50 there. Maybe it's no big deal. So just testing things, because also things outside of the 414, pools that are made by other people outside of the 414 are also moving. So now the how. So this is the thing that now I'm going to actually show people how to actually do it. Okay, so, all right. I'm going to have to move this out of the way, sorry. Okay, so on deck screener, let's say here, so this is this is the tokens that I'm keeping my eyes on for buys. So let's say now, all right, WBTC, hang on, let's use an Atropa one, for example. So here we go. Let's just say this had a drop. Now, if you want to then put a buy on this, or you want to do a little bit more analysis on this as well, because where you can see the buys and the sells. I only just figured this out the other day. You click these little dots here, you copy the pair address, copy and paste it into here, and then you can open up so you can see them. You can see that detailed information over here about the buyers, the sells, the liquidity, and this is what I'm talking about as well. So here the liquidity is thick, so lots of liquidity, and this market cap is huge. So this is what I mean about, so this market cap is that fake Atropa money, but the liquidity is the people that are actually entering into it. On the contrary to that, so little side note here actually. So this new one here, TRSI. Okay, just quickly, TRSI. So TriStar and Red Sector Incorporated. Here's an example. So 82K liquidity, 1.9K. Market cap 1.9K liquidity. Again, 250 liquidity, so no liquidity in here. But this is actually going to be something that I'm going to be doing a little degen into, simply because one of my boys from the Fib Fund pointed this out. So this was actually created. These pools were actually created on the 12th of September. So just over a day ago. Now, in my previous video, I spoke about a duck named Bill and a duck named Greg. And so my friend, he must have just looked up what TriStar and Red Sector is. And Red Sector Incorporated was created by the three founders, Bill, Greg, and Kangol. So I thought, oh, that's a bit of a it's a bit of a funny coincidence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little degen into this, and I'm going to add to this liquidity pool. So how do you do this? So I've got this pair here, so I can do it this way. So I'm going to copy the TRS contract. I'm going to go to PulseX, trade, and then what I'm going to do is I want to buy. So you search for your token. So you copy and paste that here, import the token. Yep, I understand. I'm a degen. I'm not even going to read it. And then how much do I want to buy? So I'm going to buy 333,333. So we'll swap, confirm. I might just cover this. It doesn't really matter because this is actually an address that I set up. So add your TRSI. I'm not actually going to be able to. And then what I'm going to do, so now that's how you actually buy these degen tokens. So here we go. I've just bought this degen token. Thank you very much, Mr. 414. Okay, so that's how you actually buy. Now let's talk about liquidity. So I'm going to show you how to set up a liquidity pool, because this is also how people are making a lot of money in this. So this is what it's actually all about. So actually, let me just this share for a second and reshare. Okay, so the liquidity pools, just in case I missed some notes here. Okay, all right. So this is what's actually giving life to Atropa. So it's actually a lot of it is to do with setting up liquidity pools. And my philosophy on everything is to just experiment. Don't degen in, just experiment. So I'm actually going to show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm only just starting to learn about this now. So I was listening in a Spaces today, but I also need to actually figure out how to do it. The way that I like to do it is actually just dip my toes in. So now I'm just going to quickly show how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add liquidity. So I'm going to create, I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new pool here. So I've got some hex, and then I'm also going to add a TRSI. You are the first liquidity provider. So this one, I'm actually creating the pool. So this is pretty cool. So what does it say? I've never done this before. I've added into a liquidity pool, but now I'm actually going to create it. Once you are happy with the rate, so how do I know what the rate is going to be? All right, so I'm going to enable the hex. The ratio of tokens you add will set the price of this pool. Oh, I see. Okay, all right. So then so let's say this is 0.09. So that means that's going to set the price. Okay, all right. Let's do that. Let's do this. So shout out to the Atropa wallet. Just a tiny little dip my toes. All right, so 1-1. Oh, actually, I'll put the whole lot in. Can I put the whole lot of the TSR? Yep, I can put it all in. They're about equal value. So yes, if I adjust this, that will set the ratio. That's basically, I'm going to have to work out more on that. So eventually what I'm going to be doing is creating another video on the exactitudes of this, and then enable all of that and approve, and bang, it's done. I'm going to be late for my class here. I've got a boxing hit class that I'm going to, which I'm going to be late to. This is taking a lot longer than I was expecting. Supply, create the pool. And then in the next video, I'm actually going to show you while this creates. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually know which contract you've entered into. I'll make another short video of that because I'm actually running out of time. So just very quickly, just to wrap things up. All right. If you haven't followed me already, please follow me. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on YouTube, on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm delivering all this content about mind and mental health and about cryptocurrency and finances, everything as much as I can. And if you liked this content, please like it. Please consider subscribing. I got a lot of subscribers from the previous video. A lot of people were really positive about the content. So I'm created another Atropa video, which, I mean, it's helping me and it's helping you guys as well. This is what it's about. This is about doing it together. So once again, thank you very much. If you leave a comment, it really helps the algorithm and I really appreciate it and I get back to everybody. So again, thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are.